أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم الحمد لله رب العالمين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. We seek refuge in Allah from Shaitan the accursed, and we begin with the name of Allah, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. We praise him and we seek his aid. And we humbly ask that the prayers and peace be upon his noble messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah calls our attention in the Quran and he says, O ye who believe, fasting is prescribed for you the same way it was prescribed for those who came before you, so that you may develop self-restraint, so that you may develop taqwa, or you may develop God consciousness. Today what we'd like to do is we'd like to talk a little bit today about the goals of Ramadan. Many of us may come and during the month of Ramadan or before Ramadan starts, we might sit down with a pen and write down some of the things we'd like to do during the month of Ramadan. And so, this is a good habit to have. This is a good habit to have, and it is also one of the best ways to track your progress during the month of Ramadan, as opposed to day for day, but you measure yourself and you set out to do some things. In the Quran, Allah calls our attention and he gives us goal 1 in the month of Ramadan in Surah 2 verse 183 by saying to us the purpose of fasting, la'alakum tatakun, so that you may develop self-restraint, so that you may develop your taqwa. And so the first goal in the month of Ramadan for us, and we're going to look at these certain parts of the goals, but this is the first goal. It's found in the Quran, and it's one of the best ways to approach it by virtue of looking at what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, and so that you can at least measure whether you are standing up to what he puts in front of you by blessing you to have the month of Ramadan. So you develop these goals. This first goal is to develop my taqwa. So I start out the day by going forward, looking for ways in which to develop taqwa. And I become more conscious of my behavior, the things I say, the things I do, who I'm hanging around, what I'm spending my time doing, whether it's of a benefit for me or the community of my family, or whether it's of no benefit at all, whether I'm wasting time. And so the goal of Ramadan is to develop taqwa. And we know that taqwa is this intense level of God consciousness. You don't have to be a scholar to develop this. You don't have to be someone who's an expert in fiqh. You don't have to be someone that knows the entire Quran. You just have to be someone who is willing to serve Allah with sincerity. Muklasin Allahuddin, with this sincerity, and the religion is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So your behavior becomes that which points to the idea of serving Allah with sincerity and a commitment. And so with this commitment comes the idea behind changing me. And as a result, we have taqwa that helps us develop that. And we have a trace to that by looking back at Surah 2, verse 183. And we find in there the first goal for Ramadan. And this first goal is a goal that we, as individual people, as communities, if we lock into that goal, that first goal during the month of Ramadan, then the entire month is spent developing our God consciousness, developing our taqwa. And we look at this idea, look at the elements of taqwa. We find that in some of the books, the minhaj that deal with the religion, we see they have a definition of taqwa. They say it has 2 elements, khawf and raja. Al-khawf wa raja sa'ikani yab'athani ala amal wa ma la yab'athu ala amali fahuwa gurur. And it says that the elements of taqwa are 2. And there's one is raja, hope with actions, khawf or fear with knowledge. And that those 2 things are motivating factors, and that which that causes you to act. And that which does not cause you to act is a state of delusion. And so we go into the month of Ramadan with fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with knowledge, and we go in there with hope. with the means to develop our God consciousness. That's our first goal during the month of Ramadan. Don't let the month of Ramadan pass you by without looking at the goal and asking Allah to help you complete the goal. And that goal, dear brothers and sisters, is to develop taqwa. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.